adventure in Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Yo, it's the Pipeman, and I'm back for Motivational Monday and Positively Pipeman here on the Adventures of Pipeman with our expert guest on today's segment. Let's welcome Michael Barbarita.
How are you, Dane?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I understand we're going to talk about some strategic partnerships and joint ventures today, and we kind of almost have that because you're a consistent guest on the Adventures of Pipeman and giving people the amazing, powerful business strategies that you have in your book and that you share with your business Next Step CFO.
Excellent. Yes.
So let's hear it.
Yeah, sure. So strategic partnerships and joint ventures is a highly neglected area because people have a tendency to be embarrassed about asking about how to form partnerships. And if they actually do ask on how to go about to form partnerships, it fizzles. Many times they'll say, we'd be great working together and doing this type of thing. And it stops basically right there. And the key to really developing these relationships is to have frequent meetings and have both people being committed to doing something that moves the partnership forward. That's the missing link in a lot of these, because normally it's just conversation. And sometimes even both sides get excited about it, but it still fizzles out there because, no one wants to actually do the work or take the initiative to jot down what needs to happen for that partnership to really materialize. And a lot of people also find it difficult to recognize who would be a strategic partner. And one of the best ways to do it is who purchases your product before and then who purchases your product after. That's the best way to formulate who in fact could be a strategic partner. But also, generally who sells to the same customers. For example, in my business, CPAs sell to the same customers that I sell to. Now, CPAs, for the most part, do taxes and look at things from an historical perspective, where a CFO and a strategic implementation specialist like we are forward-looking and we help implement strategy. Right. And those strategies, some of the strategies the CPA certainly knows about, but doesn't really show the business owner how to implement. Yeah. See, there's a big difference, Steve, between learning and implementation. Google can give you all the learning, and AI, you'll know everything. You can find anything there in terms of learning. It's actually implementing the strategies and implementing these things to be able to progress your business. And that's really the key. And with strategic partnerships and joint ventures, what we suggest to our clients, because we feel strongly in the development of them and the implementation of them, is that they take the lead in coming up with the plan and divvying up the responsibility between themselves and their partner. Because if the partner doesn't get involved in it, and if one side does all the work, it fizzles again. It fizzles again. So when both sides are doing the work and both sides are invested, it works. It works. It works really, really well because you sell it to the same base. You're doing different products, but you sell it to the same base. Yeah. And it really works extremely well.
I think some people also are hesitant to do it because they hold on to their business with a very protective hold, and they're worried about these people that they're partnering with are going to be, competition. But as you explain, they're not competition. They're not going after the same dollars. They're not going selling the same services or products, but they are selling complementary or related that, these clients, they're going to use that type of person anyway, in addition to you. So it might as well be a joint venture or partnership. So it makes it easier on them, on you, and everybody wins.
Right. And, like in my business, a CPA is perfect because number one, we're definitely working with the same customer or client. And so when there's problems from a tax standpoint, I go right to that CPA and we work. Sometimes we're on the same meeting. Many times we're on the same meeting with them. I'm explaining where the business is from a forecasting and strategical standpoint, and they're telling us what types of tax strategies that we should think about as we move forward. And it's all forward, and that part is forward looking with the tax planning. Getting the CPA involved in the tax planning. So that works. That really works famously. And the other thing that's happening in the marketplace, Dean, is with CPAs is that the average age of a CPA is pretty old right now. And this new generation is not majoring in accounting in college anymore because the hours are bad. Okay. And this generation doesn't want to work a lot of hours. And being a CPA, as you know, during the tax season is longer than just March, February, March, and April.
Yeah.
Extensions. It goes into July, August, September, October, for tax preparation. So it's a more significant period of time than just those two. And so the hours become real difficult. And because of that, there's less people that are getting into tax preparation. And so there's a prediction out there that 75% of the CPA firms that are out there right now will be gone at some level.
I believe that wholeheartedly, and I'll tell you why, because I majored in accounting originally and pre-med in college. And then I changed to business because the accounting was way too narrow. But also, while I was going to college, I was a financial planner. And I remember so clearly going on a client meeting with a CPA to do a financial needs analysis of their portfolio. And I was like, why am I doing accounting? I make more money than this guy, and he's been doing it for 10 years, and I'm still in college. And so that really changed my mind for my generation. It's like, it's like you said, it's long hours. It's a lot of work. It can be boring work, and the pay isn't as much as people would think. And that CPA exam is the hardest exam you could probably take, between that, the CFP and the bar, those are the top 3 hardest exams you can
absolutely
take. And it's funny because I was CFP, and you learned a lot of the accounting principles in CFP. And I even saw CPAs fail the CFP the first time, the final exam, which a lot of people do. And it just it opened my eyes that, hey, exactly what you're talking about now. I think there's somebody that could be in the business and doesn't have to just be a tax preparer or CPA.
Right. A lot of the CPAs now are going into tax planning only, which is helping them in terms of hours and helping them in terms of even revenue per client. Because the historical nature of the CPA is hurting the industry. Okay, where the CFO or tax planner even is future. It's forward looking.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because one of the segments in CFP is tax planning. So I used to partner with CPAs because they were a great center of influence. And CPAs always wanted to get involved in the investment side, but they weren't licensed to do so, nor did they understand it. So that's why they would partner with people like me.
Interesting. Yeah. And so a quick example of a strategic partnership that has a long chain is something like I call it the wedding mafia. You have the jeweler, you have the jeweler, then you have the banquet, you have the person who sings at the church, you have the reception DJ, the actual reception place, the honeymoon. So you could that's just perfect because there's referrals up and down the line all the time. That works incredibly well. But putting that together takes time and effort and energy from everyone in the chain.
Yeah, totally. Real estate's another example too. Like people that sell real estate, they have partnerships with attorneys, with title companies, with mortgage companies, with it goes all the way down the line, everything you would need to buy a house. So partnerships and joint ventures, they're beneficial for everybody.
Absolutely. And those are my examples. So we're on this podcast now, but there's more information that can be had, that especially what we do in our business with strategic implementation, and we can show you a step-by-step process on how to. We can give you a step-by-step roadmap on how to go about forming these partnerships, and they're very productive. Oh God.
And just like driving somewhere, you need a GPS to know where to go. And that's why they need to reach out to you, because you can provide them that GPS roadmap. So how do people reach out to you? How do they get involved with you that they could get more information about this? And even like check out your book and even all the other, and you have something special to offer them too. So let's tell them about that.
Right. Yeah. So you could go to nextstepcfo.net. You can download our book for free. It's our contribution to the business world. All of our strategies are in the book, both business strategies and financial strategies. But we'd love to do a book interview, because what we do is, because business is always changing, and we update our book every year or so. And so with different things that are happening in the economy, like now tariffs, interest rates, we don't know if they're going down. They get pressure to go down, but we don't know. With all this uncertainty, we like to keep our book updated, and we know our strategies work. We just like some industry information to prove what we already know. And so when we interview people, we interview from an industry perspective. We ask them, it's real quick. It's 60 minutes on Zoom. I present strategies for my book, and then we ask the interviewee, the business owner, if the strategy was to be implemented in your industry, what would the impact be? And then I document it for the book, and that's it. And you can go to nextstepcfo.net/contact, fill out the contact form, and in the message section, put the words book interview. Be happy to contact you, and we could get it scheduled.
Nice. Well, once again, you're a wealth of information here on Positively Pipeman segment of the Adventures of Pipeman here on W4CY Radio. And I urge our listeners to reach out to you, because you can help them in so many different ways, not just this subject. So thanks, Michael Barbarita, for being here, and thanks for being on the Adventures of Pipeman.
Thank you for having me, Dean.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.